Hi, my name is David Mayo. I'm the Director of Communications with the Port of Nanaimo, and I'm here with Dana Trombley from the BC Ferries. We're here proud to provide the Port Connect. It's our third annual Port Connect, and it's a virtual Port Connect this year. It's a 2020 virtual presentation, keeping you employers safe during this period of time. Port Connect is a partnership with the Port of Nanaimo, Work BC Nanaimo, and key marine-based employers in the Mid-Island region. There are unique skills required to work in the marine-based business, and we have companies that make up that industry and help to bring benefits to the community. I'll be asking Dana 5 or 6 questions about trends in the industry, requirements to work within the industry, and current employment opportunities with BC Ferries. Contact information will be provided for viewers for follow-up directly with the employer and with Work BC Nanaimo. Thank you, everyone, for linking with us today, and good luck with your search to engage with marine-based industries, a critical benefit provided by Port's daily operation and how we deliver local benefits with a global reach. And now let's ask Dana a few questions. So Dana, can you tell us a little bit about the trends that are going on in the industry with BC Ferries today?
Well, from an industry perspective, I think that one of the trends that we're currently seeing is that there's almost a bit of a realignment with where folks in the marine industry are looking for jobs and what employers are keenly moving forward. Of course, COVID-19 has really impacted the passenger industry, as we know at BC Ferries, but more importantly, it's really impacted the cruise ship industry. And so when you look at one of the major employment components of the marine industry, they're in a little bit of a holding pattern. Now, I believe that that's part-time. So from my perspective, the major trend just means everybody go out and get some schooling done so that when things open up a bit,
Right.
you're ready to go and you have all the qualifications you need.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a really good time. And with BC Ferries, one of our trends, was that we're moving to a lot of new technology. So we brought in our LNG vessels, and we now have 3 Salish class and our 2 Spirits that are LNG. We have a 4th Salish class on the way. We have 2 electric hybrid vessels that are already in the fleet, and we have 4 more of those on the way that are going to replace a whole lot of our minor vessels that are kind of one-offs. And so we're moving towards consolidation in terms of class of vessel. And so it's an exciting time for people that really like new technology or green initiatives as well.
Right, that's really interesting. And those plans have been a long time coming, I understand, but they're a little provide challenges to get in place, but now here we are.
Correct. Yeah.
And it has an effect then, Dana, on the type of employee you're looking for, or what's going on that side?
Well, there's an element, particularly when you look at the electric ferries, around high voltage. So high voltage training is going to be a piece that is interesting. I don't know the name of the specific course, but I know there's Transport Canada sanctioned high voltage. So that's something that definitely is a key component. But other than that, you know what, David, it's really stayed consistent. Your MED courses are absolutely critical, the 2 marine emergency duties that we talk about all the time and are posted on our career page.
Right.
And then, of course, if someone has the chance to get a bridge watch ticket and or an engine room rating, those are kind of the 2 stepping stones into 2/3 of our vessel-based positions. If we're looking at those from a specific training, our catering groups are a little smaller than they used to be. Because our buffets aren't open on some of the bigger vessels, but catering is still a great chance to get in with us, and that's food safe and possibly serving it right, depending on where in the fleet you land.
Right.
And then, of course, just an all-around understanding and interest of customer service is critical for us.
Right, customer service is such a key, and you do that really well, and it takes constant work and energy and new ideas and lots of discussions with colleagues there. One of the perspectives that happens sometimes is that people think of BC Ferries on the water only, but you have to come into terminals, and that's a critical base of how a vessel comes in to deliver and offload vehicles.
It is. So we have 47 different terminals. Some of them aren't necessarily terminals. I always say 47 different places that we stop. More importantly, we have 36 locations where employees live. And so to your point, there are, the deck, engine, and catering positions that are based on board the ferries. But then we also have a number of places where we need terminal staff that live in some of our smaller locations. So Texada Island, for example, would have terminal staff
Right.
all the way up to, Departure Bay, Duke Point. So that's a large percentage. I think our terminal staff is close to 1,000 employees across the fleet.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And a lot of people don't realize you're one of the if not the biggest ferry organization in the world. Isn't that correct?
Largely privately held, yes.
Privately held. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. And the range of jobs then, if you had a typical employee that was just starting, we often talk in the corporate world, you start at the ground level and you work your way up. There's such a range of jobs with BC Ferries from the way I understand it. Can you talk about that a little bit, Dana?
Sure, and I'll talk about kind of the entry level points and kind of the best ways to get into us as an employer. Because we are an employer of choice, we really do have an opportunity to look at a lot of quality candidates. You know, some of our postings get up to 800 people. So I always recommend people try to apply for a job that's populous. So we need a lot of them so that ups your chances of getting into us. So, you know, when I'm in Nanaimo, when I've been at your port authority, some people
Yep.
come up and say, well, I'd like HR. That's not an easy in to the company, some of the administrative positions, but it's a really great way for people to join. We hire a lot of ticket agents, so either foot passenger or at the vehicle booths. We hire people that are terminal attendants, so those are the ones that kind of direct how you get onto the ferry and how you load at the end of the rows. And those positions, you know, require some customer service, ideally some cash handling experience. If
Right.
people have done work like traffic flagging, that type of thing, that can be up there. Some kind of security work. You're dealing with people, and COVID has made some people a little frustrated with traveling. And so you need to ensure that you have a high level of capacity to manage a little bit of stress at work.
Right.
And so that's a really popular one. And then the other one is the customer service attendant position. And those are the ones that I mentioned previously that are on the vessel.
Right. Well, communication skills is such an important part of it, right? Just to build relationships with your clients, because there's such a high level, from my estimation, of repeat traffic, and you want things to be.
David, let me ask you a question. Do you know how many passengers BC Ferries carries in a year?
It would be just a wild guess, so I'll let you tell me how many.
22 million.
22 million. That's a lot of relationships.
Yeah, it's the same as Air Canada does globally.
Yes.
So that's when we come back to customer service is critical, safety is critical, safety first, then customer service. And that's why when you're moving 22 million people plus cargo, plus animals, plus you name it. I mean, one of our ferries last year moved a house. So,
Right.
you
Wow.
know, you need to have a lot of skills to do such work, and you need to have really strong people skills to manage
Absolutely.
that broad range.
No, absolutely. When you move that many people, and one thing is a big component is the tourism side of things, which you're a huge part of. And in tourism, it's like a relay race where the person makes plans for a trip, travels out here through different various means, whether it's on land or air, and then arrives, and then you're making another connection over here to the island or going from the island back to the mainland. So it's all part of the trip, and that's the experience that people bring home with them. So those communication skills are really key. Dan, I wanted to ask you about the seasonality to the ferries.
Sure. I mean, in summer, we have all 36 vessels in the fleet, and that starts around April or May and goes till mid-October. So
Right.
past Thanksgiving is kind of our peak season. We have very few seasonal employees in terms of categories. So the majority of people that we hire on would be in either a casual capacity or regular. Regular means you have your schedule set from now till the end of time. Casual means you can do some part-time, some backfill on a couple of different vessels maybe, or a couple of different locations even for terminals like Nanaimo. But it can also be full-time. It's a regular schedule. It's like a substitute teacher, I call it. Seasonal, though, we would look to some terminal positions and some of those catering positions. When we bring more vessels in and we need to stock up for those positions over the summer. So traditionally, we've had an opportunity to hire a lot of students, and they come in and then leave when they go back to school in September, or work part-time if they have the capacity to do so. And then some of the terminal positions as well would be that same kind of summer schedule, or people who may winter elsewhere if they want to look for work. You know, we start training February, March, you work April, May, and then you kind of go through till October.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dana. do you find that your students that come in through the seasonal avenue, do they come back or do they stay once they're completed school?
So yes and no. I mean, we're very
Okay.
lucky in that we have a lot of students who do repeat with us.
Yes.
We also have a lot of students who come on board maybe in a catering position and think, oh my goodness, I would really like to work deck, or they'd like to work in the engine room until they transition to one of the,
Right.
more typical marine-based skills.
Sure.
We also have folks who have started with us in a terminal attendant position and 40 years later are, our executive director of strategic planning. So
Right.
there's a lot of ways to grow your career with us, both in the fleet and corporate wide or at the terminals.
A lot of diverse avenues for some professional development.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's exciting. So what is the best way for somebody to get a hold of you to plug themselves into BC Ferries? What would be the best thing to do?
Absolutely email me. And I know you're going to put my contact information up.
Yes. Yes.
I am a bit of a moving target. I'm throughout the fleet and I'm never necessarily in one spot or not on the phone or doing these types of things. So email is really the best way. I like to plan calls with people so that I have that in my calendar and can dedicate the time I need to them.
Okay.
And so if someone emails me, I'm happy to take the time. I would also encourage everybody who's interested to look not only at our corporate webpage, but all of our corporate social media accounts from LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even. Those give you a really good broad sweep of who we are as a company. LinkedIn has a lot of our professional articles and some of the awards we've won globally for safety, as an example. Facebook, we have a really good collection of Meet the Crew videos up on our Facebook page. Nice. Also on our corporate webpage on the career page. So you can kind of see what people do in different jobs. Mm-hmm. And then Instagram, of course, beautiful shots of the West Coast. And Twitter has some operational feeds, so you can kind of see what a typical day, which doesn't exist, but what a typical day would look like at BC Ferries.
Nice. Well, and that sounds fantastic. So there's lots of ways to connect with you, which is what Port Connect is all about. Any other things you want to bring up just before I close off then?
In wrapping up, I would tell people that if they are interested in us as an employer, really do your research. You can look at, anything from news and press releases to really round out your understanding of who we are as a company. If you can find somebody who's on a vessel, you can ask them what they like about the company. There's nothing more discouraging for me than a conversation with somebody who comes to me with very little understanding of who we are. So absolutely do your homework. Invest in this if you want it to be your career, regardless of BC Ferries. Find out what the marine industry really is all about and do your homework before you come to any event or speak to somebody in a position to look at you for employment.
Great. Well, that's great advice, Dana. It's kind of like the iceberg principle. You see what's on the surface, but there's so much more to the whole industry and a specific.
Like 22 million people. No one knows that.
Who knew that? I should have known that. That's good to know. Well, thanks very much. So there you have it. If you want to have any other questions answered by Dana after you've done a little bit of research, please contact her. You've got the information at on the screen there, and you can always reach out to us or Work BC Nanaimo to be able to plug in. So thanks very much, Dana Trombley, BC Ferries. Good luck to all the candidates, and let's have a great Port Connect and a great 2021. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me be part of it. I appreciate that, David.
Absolutely. It's the best because you are there. Okay, thank you.